Hello everyone, and welcome to the video. My name is Brady, and according to 57 online courses and a handful of in-person training assessments, I am a certified Tesla technician. Now we started today off with reassembling a 2021 Model 3. The first thing that needs to happen is getting this car up into the air so it is easier to work on. These lifts made by a company called QuickJacks are really such a great tool to have. If someone that works at their company watches this video and wants to be the first sponsorship my YouTube channel has ever had, you'd be making a young lad's dream come true. Being under 30 is still considered young, right? As you can tell by the lack of panels on this vehicle, that it has already been worked on. And like the amazing cameraman that I am, which you will see how great my videography talents are later in this video, I just forgot to record the disassembly process. But if you're really curious on how or what that looked like, just watch this entire video through and then play it in reverse. When using a new fender panel from Tesla, 99% of the time the threads on the inner mounting point are non-existent. So one must do what the factory workers consistently fail to do, and that is properly thread the hole so it can receive a bolt correctly. Apparently sending multiple emails and phone calls every day to Tesla support about this issue is considered mild harassment. I think it's more of a harassment having to rethread every single new fender we get, but that's just my opinion. Now that the new fender is fully built, we can grab a couple of drills with 10mm sockets attached and start fitting the fender. I like to first install all the bolts loosely by hand. That way the fender will hold its position, but still have enough wiggle room to get the body gaps right. You can start tightening the bolts on the edge closest to the door and work your way forward. Inspect the gaps and make adjustments if needed. You're looking for about 1/8 to 1/4 inch consistent gap. And don't forget to plug in the 2 wire connectors for the side repeater lamp. Since this side did get damaged, it is getting a new headlight assembly. That involves sliding it into the corner grommet and securing it with 2 bolts, then plugging in the wire connector on the back of the headlight. And because this version of headlight says the word global on its identification badge, the other headlight will also be getting replaced. Anytime a Tesla is required to have a global headlight, you must replace both headlights. The computer system will not allow 2 different versions to work at the same time. It's kind of like making a PB&J sandwich. You can't just spread peanut butter on one slice and nothing on the other slice. That would be completely mental, mate. The PB needs the J in order to work correctly, and yes, I am doing this voiceover during lunchtime, so forgive me if it sounds like I'm salivating. Now the fender to bumper front bracket can be installed. It slides into the fender and is held in place with a Torx bolt. Also, the fender to bumper side bracket can be clipped in and bolted down. While editing this clip of the bumper being assembled, I had a big self-reflecting moment. Building a bumper for these Teslas, it's something I do every day and know better than the back of my hand. I could probably do it blindfolded. But this is the first time that I've recorded myself doing this, and I just could not believe how long it actually took me to reassemble this bumper. I know you're seeing the edited version, so it looks like it's a quick process, which it really is. But apparently it took me 20 minutes to build this bumper when I thought that I maybe spent 5 minutes on it. It definitely shows that a daily task you think that you're good at or even have mastered that skill, there's always room for improvement. And I'm not going to be putting a stopwatch to it, but you best believe that next time I edit a recording of a bumper assembly, it will be under the 15-minute mark. And if it isn't, well, then it isn't. Installing the lower valance panel is pretty simple. It is held on by 10 push-in plastic clips along the front edge of the bumper. And then there are 2 nuts that go into the corner of the inside of the bumper. Now we can channel our inner efficient and marry the bumper to the car. Give the sides a couple of love taps, kind of like you're trying to burp a baby with hiccups. Honestly, I don't know if that was an accurate statement, because I've never had to burp a baby. But I would assume it's accurate, I guess. And then tighten down the 6 bolts on the top and the 4 bolts underneath. Fasten up the driver's side with 1 bolt going up through the bumper, and then there are 5 push-in clips along the wheel liner. Carefully set in the underhood storage compartment. Make sure it snaps into place along the fenders and tighten it down with 7 bolts. Install the cold air intake vent. Plug in the Frunk interior light, which its sole purpose is for when you accidentally take a nap in this Frunk and somehow close the hood on yourself. This light allows you to see the emergency release button. I don't know about you, but trying to imagine sleeping in a Frunk really spikes my claustrophobia. Apparently, there is an unknown agreement between everyone that drops off their vehicle to us, or really any collision center. And that agreement is to either go drive in the sand dunes or go off-roading in some mud pits right before you give us the vehicle. While removing and installing wheel liners, which is every technician's favorite part of the job, we tend to eat or inhale, on average, 1 to 2 pounds of dirt per wheel liner. It's pretty impressive the amount of debris one person can cake onto these liners. And I know what you're thinking. And no, I did not torque down the lugs on the wheel, but for good reason. After I'm done with this car, that wheel will be getting repaired and painted, so it'll have to come off again. That's when our wheel guy will torque everything to spec. So don't you worry, torque spec police. I got you. While building this passenger front door, I was thinking, hey, wouldn't it be great if there was a tutorial video on how to completely build a Tesla Model 3 door? And I bet that's exactly what you were just thinking. Well, I got you covered. I have a full tutorial video on this process, an easy step-by-step guide, and right now is when most YouTubers would put that link for that video somewhere on the screen. But since I am not tech savvy and don't know how to do that, you can just go search for it on my page. A great thing about working on a Tesla is a lot of the parts are interchangeable, especially between the Model 3 and Model Y. Things like door panels, headlights, they can both be swapped. They're basically like twin brothers, but one got a second growth spurt, is better looking, and attracts all the single moms. Now that the window carrier has been secured to the door, we can slide the door glass back into place. Then slide the two 13mm bolts into the slots. I like to hand tighten these first so you can adjust the window glass side to side and line it up correctly. Don't try to go Hercules when tightening these bolts. Talking from prior experience here, the window glass will shatter on you. Return all the rubber plugs to their holes and put on the inner weather strip. Now it's time to start connecting the interior door panel to the wire harness. There are 5 wire connectors, and also the inner cable for the door handle, that needs to be clipped in. Pop the panel onto the door and give it a couple of baby burping slaps. Screw it down with 3 Torx screws and install the tweeter speaker carrier. Lastly, put on the outer belt molding. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you and would love it if you gave this video a thumbs up or even a thumbs down. I support everyone's opinion, but if you did thumbs down this video, please leave a comment as to what you didn't like about it. So then I can read and understand your viewpoint, and then I can thumbs down your comment and get the last laugh.